Enhance your experience by becoming a supporting member. Gain access to unseen videos and video requests. 3-day free trial by visiting zionmembership.com. Chosen ones, empaths. You've got to take into an account, right, that these narcissists that are involved in your life and narcissists around the globe don't always make their intentions clear. They don't always make their feelings clear. They don't honestly let you know how they're really dealing with your loss, you see. It's only by me talking to victims of narcissistic abuse, running sessions, things of that nature, that's given me more of an in-depth insight into the crazy, bizarre, deranged, kind of weird behavior that these narcissists involved in their life engage in. And the narcissist involved in your life is no different, you see. But the fact of the matter is, you could have gone through a discard, a reverse discard. You could have even cut the narcissist off that was involved in your life, right? And they could have acted like there's not a care in the world, like you're worthless, like you're nothing. And it honestly takes you to look beneath the veil of all of the, the chaos and the drama, to really see beneath the veil, to really have an understanding of what's going on. And what I mean by look beneath the veil is, for example, this narcissist involved in your life could have discarded you or reverse discarded you. And they rush on with someone new, and you're left there, perhaps feeling lonely or alone. You're resorting to your own devices, perhaps looking on their social media, seeing them post these pictures with their new supply, like they're living their best life. And if you don't look beneath the veil, this stuff can really hurt you. I would advise you straight away to not look on their social media. But I know no matter what I say, eventually you'll get to the point when you do stop looking on their social media. But, I've spoken to many survivors that have looked on the narcissist social media. And when they've looked on the narcissist that was involved in their life social media, they've seen beneath the veil, right? They didn't just get jealous, Jealousy can affect anyone and anyone, but it tends to be that chosen ones and empaths aren't particularly jealous people, so they're desensitized to seeing, seeing their former partner, for example, with a new supply. It's not that they don't care, it's just they don't really let jealousy creep into their body, So they're able to look at it with a more logical approach. And then when they look at this situationship with the new supply and the narcissist that was in their life, they see a downgrade, for example. Or they see that the narcissist involved in their life isn't happy. They can just tell in their eyes, or they can tell in their body language. And they can see that they're actually suffering, right? And what you need to understand is this is one of their coping mechanisms, the narcissist involved in your life, is to rush on with a new supply. This is how they cope. This is how they deal with it. This is their logic in getting over you. But you see, a chosen one and an empath has a totally different approach, right? Not all of them, not all chosen ones and empaths. Some chosen ones and empaths fall into new relationships very quickly, but they do realize that this isn't the best option for them. But the narcissist will just keep, they won't let up, They'll go from one toxic relationship to another toxic relationship to another toxic relationship. They are the toxicity themselves, but they're running into toxic people as well. And this is what makes it very hard for them to cope, right? You need to understand that you had a pureness about you. You had a sense, a care about you, a loving nature about you that they honestly got addicted to. They honestly become codependent upon that supply source that you used to offer. And they don't honestly find this elsewhere. Narcissists involved in your life can fall into the narcissistic collapse. And now drugs and alcohol can affect anyone, but they may start indulging in drugs and alcohol quite severely to compensate the loss. That's not to say don't start thinking, people that drink alcohol or alcoholics, that they're narcissists. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that not narcissists can start indulging in intoxicants, drugs, alcohol, to try and compensate the loss that they're feeling from you. You see, risky behavior. Oftentimes, a narcissist actually goes through something called the narcissistic collapse. After losing the chosen one and the empath, they're on a downward spiral. You just need to bear patience. Perhaps you don't even want them to go downhill, and that's because you're a nice person. You don't even want to see this person, even though they caused you harm or caused you grief or caused you upset. You don't even want to see them go downhill. But literally, a lot of the times, these narcissists that are involved in your life were either on a narcissistic collapse anyway when they met you, or you were the part of the reason why they went on to the narcissistic collapse after the discard, reverse discard, or after you cut them off when they become so toxic. And they'll start engaging in risky behavior. The risky behavior could be them meeting new supplies and quickly shacking up with them. The risky behavior, like just risky behavior with drugs and alcohol, just doing things that, even though they are, they're not level-headed people, it becomes more apparent that they're actually losing the plot, after losing you. And they do this to try and distract their minds. And what you got to understand is they're fighting a battle on the inside of, it's hard for them to come to terms with losing you. It's not talked about enough, so I have to reinforce this message, but it is hard for them to come to terms with losing you. Their main objective, right? Their main objective, is if you let them do this, which I'm trying to educate you not to let them do this. For example, if you were discarded, reverse discarded, or you cut them off because they become too toxic, and they go on with their new supply, right? Which they do. They find a new supply. They need a new supply. They need supply. Even if it's shit supply or rubbish supply, they need a supply source. At that, they need a supply source, right? But what tends to happen is, if they get an understanding, because they do spy on you, right? They do spy on you. They do stalk you, right? If they get an understanding that you're suffering, or you're hurt, or you're not over them, they'll feel like they've succeeded. They'll feel like what they're doing is right. If they don't get the reaction they want from you, they don't, momentarily you might be sad, momentarily you might be down, but if you trust God and you find your resilience inside yourself and understand that this has happened for the best reason, the separation between yourselves, and you don't let them with a new supply get under your skin, you don't let them make you jealous, this risky behavior and this deranged behavior will start to become more apparent. Like, if you just get on with your life, so to speak, they'll start, hoovering you, spying on you intensively, perhaps even stalking you in some cases, doing deranged behavior because they're on this narcissistic collapse. They're on a downward spiral, and all they're trying to do is see you hurt and in pain, right? That's all they're trying to do. But if you can just hold out, focus on healing. The healing journey isn't always sunshine and rainbows. The healing journey isn't always, onwards and upwards. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days, you will do. That's what's going to happen on the healing journey. As much as I try to talk about the healing journey as a positive thing, it is a positive thing. If you see that these little pitfalls that you run into are actually enhancing you to become a better person along the way, you see. But if you take the healing journey seriously, you need to get into your mind that this narcissist that was involved in your life was never on your level. That's something you should always get into your mind. But a crushing blow for them, is when you no longer want them, because when they go on with these new supplies, They're doing that to cope with losing you. But in their minds, they still think, even if you cut them off, for example, they still think that you want to be with them in some way, shape, or form. They are delusional. They believe there is still a bond there, or there is still some sort of connection, right? But if you can make that clear to them, to the world, to yourself, that you don't want to engage with them, you don't want nothing to do with them, right? That's a crushing blow. And then they're going to go through a whole nother cycle of this narcissistic collapse, dealing with realizing that you don't want them, right? Because oftentimes they remain delusional, thinking that they're the best thing ever and that you want them back, right? So when they reach out with the hoovers, or they try and spy on you, or try and send you a message on social media, or they try and text you, or they try and do something, you just need to make it clear that you're not interested in them. You need to make it very clear to them, that you don't want anything to do with them, And even when you do that, they'll still be persistent. Years can go by. That's what a lot of you don't realize. You think this narcissist is gone forever. You think this narcissist has gone on with their lives with a new supply and forgotten about you, but you haven't let the course of time take place. I'm not telling you to sit around and wait for a Hoover, but I'm telling you that, I've seen in the comment section, I've spoken to victims of narcissistic abuse, they've had Hoovers after long periods of time, And when, I've seen comments that say decades, right? Decades after the narcissist Hoovers them. And it's not like that person was waiting for a Hoover for a decade. They wasn't. They got on with their life. They were doing their thing. The narcissist probably caught wind that they're doing better in their lives, or they're doing well, and they wanted to try and sabotage that and try and provoke them with a Hoover. So what I'm trying to say to you is, it's not all easy for them. After the relationship ends, it's not all easy for them, like you hear in a lot of channels. They make out the narcissist is emotionless. They make out the narcissist involved in your life has no feelings. They make out that they can just go on with their lives and forget about you. They can't. They're codependent upon the supply source that you gave because you offered such a bright light in their lives, right? It's not easy for them to get over losing you. And I've had a bit of backlash. People haven't really understood the concept of this video, but I will still, if you want to find out about Do Narcissists Love, click this video here. Hopefully you can understand the message and what I was trying to say by the message as well. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.